Congressman Massie of the Second Amendment Caucus.
It's hard to convey what an honor it is to be here today to share the podium with Dick Heller, one of my personal heroes. Long before I came to Washington, D.C., he was fighting for our right to keep and bear arms. It was guaranteed and is still guaranteed in our Constitution. When I was 12 years old, I got my first firearm. And my dad taught me the importance and the responsibility of owning a firearm through hunting. But let me tell you something. Any politician who tells you he cares about the Second Amendment and then immediately starts talking about duck hunting or about target practice does not understand the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is fundamentally about protecting your right to self-defense, the right to protect yourself and your family from harm from those who would initiate violence against you, and that includes the government. Dick Heller is the perfect plaintiff to come before the Supreme Court. I don't know, he's a humble man and he doesn't always tell his story fully, but one thing you need to know about Dick Heller, he's a certified firearms instructor. He is a man that the government trusted with a gun to protect dignitaries here at the annex to the Supreme Court. It was his job for many years to protect the dignitaries in the government. And all he wanted to do was take that gun home to protect himself. Because there's a bullet hole through his home. And you know what the government told him? No, Dick, you can't have that gun to protect yourself. You can have it to protect us, but you can't have it to protect yourself. Folks, that is wrong. That is not what our Constitution is about. The Constitution is about guaranteeing your rights, not the government's rights. But it took a few years for Dick to prove that here in this building. And we are thankful here today. We're thankful all over the country for his diligence, for his persistence, for his willingness to fight. He's been called a lot of names, and it hasn't bothered him one bit. He's still fighting to this day. He's bringing cases in front of the court, even as we speak. I want to tell you about a few pieces of legislation that I personally have introduced into Congress to address the issue of what I feel are unconstitutional gun laws that are already on the books. I have a bill called the Safe Schools Act. All right, it would repeal the unconstitutional Gun-Free School Zone Act. Gun-free zones make us less safe. They are an invitation for criminals to come in and take advantage of unarmed, law-abiding citizens. And so we need to strike those down. The other bill that I have is called the Safer Voter Act. And I introduced this recently because I'm worried about unconstitutional legislation that's been proposed to raise the age, the legal age, to buy a long gun, or any gun for that matter, from 18 to 21. Folks, you're an adult when you're 18, you can die for your country, you can vote, and you should be able to defend yourself. This bill would lower the age to buy a handgun from 21 to 18. Because a single mom should, a 20-year-old mom should be able to defend herself and her family. So let's hope that gets passed. Another bill that I've got is to apply reciprocity for concealed carry permits with Washington, D.C. You shouldn't have to disarm yourself to come to our nation's capital. That is ridiculous, so let's fix that. Not for politicians, but for everybody, for the general public. With that, I want to say thank you again, Dick. A lot of us were relieved with the Heller decision. It was an amazing case, argued by Alan Gura, who's an amazing lawyer, followed up again by Alan Gura in the McDonald versus Chicago decision, which was so instrumental. But there's something that bothers me about both of those decisions, and it should bother you too. They were 5-4. Our rights are hanging by a thread. So we need people like Dick Heller and my colleagues in Congress who support your Second Amendment rights to stand and fight every day up here in Washington, D.C., because the other side is not going to give up. So we can't either. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Congressman Massie.